Gill, Exposition of the entire Bible. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 17. Reading the verse first from the King James Bible, quote, "Pray without ceasing," unquote. John Gill, quote, "Pray without ceasing. Not that saints should be always on their knees, or ever lifting up their hands and vocally calling upon God. That is not required of them, and would clash with and break in upon other parts of religious worship and the duties of civil life, which are to be attended to, as well as this, and besides would be impracticable. For however willing a spiritual man might be to be engaged in this work always, yet the flesh is weak, and would not be able to bear it, and it requires food and drink, sleep and rest for its refreshments and support, for all which there must be time allotted, as well as for other actions of animal life and the business of a man's calling. But the meaning is that believers should be daily and often found in the performance of this duty, for as their wants daily return upon them, and they are called to fresh service and further trials and exercises, they have need of more grace, strength, and assistance, and therefore should daily pray for it. And besides, certain times, both in the closet and in the family, and in which they should attend the throne of grace, there is such a thing as mental prayer, praying in the heart, private ejaculations of the soul, which may be sent up to heaven while a man is engaged in the affairs of life. The Ethiopic version renders the words, "Pray frequently." Do not leave off praying or cease from it through the prevalence of sin, the temptations of Satan, and through discouragement, because the answer is not immediately had, or through carelessness and negligence, but continue in it and be often at it. See Luke chapter 18, verse 1. Reading Luke 18:1 in the King James Version, quote, "And he spake a parable unto them to this end, that men ought always to pray, and not to faint," unquote. These words are opposed to the practice of such who either pray not at all, or, having used it, have left it off, or who only pray in a time of trouble and distress, and bear hard on those who think they should not pray, but when under the influences of the Spirit, and when His graces are in a lively exercise. The reason for this rule of praying with frequency and consistency is because the saints are always needy, they are always in want of mercies of one kind or another, and therefore should continually go to the throne of grace and there ask for grace and mercy to help them in time of need, unquote. Reading the verse again, unquote, "Pray without ceasing," unquote. End of John Gill, 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 17.